The black car stopped hard. Adrian Cole looked through the window, and his heart stopped too. There she was, standing on the street. His Clara, wearing nothing but a small white towel. Her silver hair hung wet around her face. Her old hands held the towel tight against her body. Water dripped from her clothes onto the cold ground. People walked past her. They stared. They whispered. They pointed. Clara's brown eyes looked down at her bare feet. She was shaking. Adrian felt something break inside his chest. Something he thought died a long time ago. "Stop the car," he said. His voice came out strange and small. But he didn't move. He just sat there, frozen, watching the woman who raised him stand in the street like she was nobody, like she was nothing. How did it come to this? 28 years ago, little Adrian was 7 years old. Fire burned inside his body. The fever made everything spin and hurt. "Mama," he cried. "Mama, I'm scared." But his mama didn't come. She was at a party somewhere far away. She was always at parties. His papa was in another country, making more money, always making more money. Then soft hands touched his hot face. "Shoo, sweet boy. I'm here. Clara's here." She smelled like soap and flowers. Her voice was warm like honey tea. She put a cold cloth on his head. She sang a song in a language he didn't know. The words didn't matter. The love did. "Am I going to die?" he whispered. "No, baby, not while I'm watching over you. I'll never let anything bad happen to you." She stayed all night, sitting in the chair next to his bed. Every time he woke up scared, she was there, her hand holding his, her eyes watching him like he was the most important thing in the whole world. By morning, the fever broke. But something else happened that night. Adrian's heart decided something. Clara was his real mother, not the woman who wore diamonds and forgot his birthday. Clara, the maid with a gentle smile and strong hands. Days turned into months. Months turned into years. Clara was there when he learned to ride his bike. She ran beside him, holding the seat, telling him he was brave. She was there when bigger boys made fun of his glasses. She dried his tears and said, "Smart boys wear glasses. You're going to do amazing things." She was there for his 10th birthday when his parents didn't come home. She baked him a cake, just the two of them in the big kitchen. It was the best birthday he ever had. "Clara," he said that night, "why are you so nice to me?" She smiled. "Because you have a good heart, Adrian. I see it, even when you can't." But something changed when Adrian turned 13. He started going to fancy school. The other kids there had money, big houses, fast cars. They talked about their maids like they were furniture, like they were nothing. Adrian started feeling embarrassed. Why did he love a maid so much? What would his friends think? He began pulling away. When Clara brought him cookies, he said, "Just leave them on the desk." When she asked about his day, he said, "I'm busy." When she touched his shoulder with love, he moved away. He saw the hurt in her eyes. It made him feel terrible, but he kept doing it anyway. The rich boy learned to build walls around his heart. Big, tall walls made of ice and pride. Years passed like water through fingers. Adrian grew up. He became exactly what his parents wanted. Cold, smart, rich, very, very rich. At 35, he owned buildings that touched the sky. He wore suits that cost more than cars. People feared him. People called him Mr. Cole and looked at the ground when they talked to him. He built a mansion even bigger than his parents' house. It had 40 rooms, 10 bathrooms, a pool that sparkled like diamonds. And Clara? She was still there, still wearing the same gray uniform, still cleaning floors, still invisible to almost everyone, but not to Adrian. He saw her every day, even when he pretended not to. He heard her soft footsteps in the halls. He smelled her flower soap. He felt her eyes watching him with the same love she had when he was 7. It made him angry. Why did she still care? Why didn't she hate him like he deserved? So he built his walls higher. He spoke to her less. He acted like she was just another worker. But late at night, when he couldn't sleep, he remembered. Soft hands on his hot face. A song in a language he didn't know. "I'll never let anything bad happen to you. Now, sitting in his expensive car, watching Clara shaking a towel on the street. All those memories crashed into him like ocean waves. "Sir," his driver asked, "should I—" "Just wait," Adrian said. His hand touched the door handle, but he couldn't open it, because opening that door meant facing the truth. It meant admitting that he had failed the one person who never failed him. Clara's head lifted. Her eyes found his car. For 1 second, their eyes met through the dark glass. She didn't look angry. She looked tired. So tired. A woman walked past Clara and laughed. "Look at the old maid. Did you forget to get dressed?" Clara's face turned red. A tear rolled down her wrinkled cheek. That tear broke Adrian's last wall. His hand gripped the door handle tight. What happened next would change everything. Sophia Lane walked through Mansion's front door like she owned it. She wore a red dress that sparkled. Her shoes clicked loud on the marble floor. Her perfume smelled expensive but mean, like flowers that bite. "So this is my new home," she said, looking around with cold blue eyes. Adrian smiled. "I hope you'll be comfortable here." "Oh, I'll make sure I am," Sophia said. Her smile looked pretty, but something was wrong with it. Like a cake that's beautiful on the outside but rotten inside. Clara stood in the corner, holding fresh towels. She gave a small, polite smile. "Welcome, Mississippi Lane. If you need anything—" "I'll tell you what I need." Sophia cut her off. "I need you to be quiet unless I ask you a question. I need you to stay out of my sight. Can your old brain remember that?" Clara's smile fell. "Yes, Mississippi." Adrian heard it. He was standing right there. But he said nothing. That was his first mistake. The torture started small. Sophia would drop things on purpose. A glass of juice. A plate of food. A whole bowl of soup. "Clean it up," she'd say, not even looking at Clara. "And be quick. You're so slow it makes me sick." Clara would get on her old knees and clean. Her back hurt. Her hands shook. But she never complained. The other workers saw it. Maria, the cook, whispered, "Someone should tell Mr. Cole." But nobody did. They were too scared of losing their jobs. Then Sophia got meaner. She started calling Clara names. "Old bag." "Useless thing." "Waste of space." She'd laugh at Clara's gray hair. "Did you look in a mirror today? You look like a ghost." She'd make Clara carry heavy bags up the stairs. "Faster." "What's wrong?" "Too old to work." Clara's shoulders got more bent. Her eyes got more sad. She stopped humming the song she used to hum. Adrian saw some of it. He heard some of it. But he told himself it wasn't his problem. Sophia was his girlfriend. Clara was just a maid. That's what he told himself. That was his second mistake. One cold evening, Clara asked Adrian something. She found him in his office. He was looking at papers, making more money, always making more money. "Mr. Cole?" Her voice was small and scared. "May I speak with you?" He didn't look up. "What is it?" "The room where I sleep. The ceiling is leaking. When it rains, water comes through. Could someone please fix it?" "Tell the estate manager," Adrian said, still not looking at her. "I did, sir. 3 times. But he says there's no money in the budget." Now Adrian looked up. He saw her face. Really saw it. She looked older than he remembered. Tired. Thin. Had she always been this thin? For 1 second, he almost cared. Almost. "I'll look into it," he said. But he didn't. That was his third mistake. The next week, a terrible storm came. Rain pounded on the roof like angry fists. Wind screamed around the mansion. Thunder shook the windows. Clara lay in her small room in the basement. Water dripped from the ceiling onto her bed. Drip, drip, drip. She put a bucket under it. Then another bucket. Then a bowl. But the drips got worse. The ceiling started making scary sounds. Cracking. Groaning. Clara got scared. She put on her old robe and went to find help. But everyone was asleep. The big mansion was dark and quiet. She went back to her room. That's when it happened. Crack! The pipe in her ceiling broke open. Water exploded out like a waterfall. Cold, dirty water that smelled like rust and old metal. It soaked her bed, her clothes, her few books. The small photo of her daughter, who died 20 years ago. Clara screamed. She grabbed what she could, but the water kept coming. It filled the room up to her knees. She ran into the hallway, slipping on the wet floor. Her robe was heavy with water. She couldn't breathe right. She had to take the robe off or she'd fall. So she did. Now she only wore her nightgown, but the nightgown was soaked too, see-through, stuck to her old body. Clara felt shame burn through her chest. She grabbed a towel from the bathroom, wrapped it around herself. Her hands shook so hard she could barely hold it. "Help!" she called out. "Please, somebody help." But her voice was small. Old. Who would hear an old woman's voice in a mansion this big? Sophia heard. She came down the stairs in her silk pajamas, looking annoyed. "What's all this noise?" She saw Clara, soaking wet, holding a towel, shaking like a leaf. And Sophia smiled. Not a nice smile, a mean one, the kind of smile that enjoys other people's pain. Well, Sophia said slowly. "Look at you. Did you decide to take a midnight swim?" "The pipes," Clara said, her voice breaking. "My room is flooded. Everything is—" "I don't care," Sophia said. Her voice was sharp like a knife. "What I care about is that you're standing here, dripping water all over this expensive floor, wearing nothing but a towel. You look disgusting." Clara's eyes filled with tears. "I'm sorry, Mississippi. I just need help." "Help?" Sophia laughed. It was an ugly sound. "You want help? Fine. Get out." "What?" "You heard me. Get out of this house. Right now." "But it's the middle of the night. It's raining. I have nowhere—" "Not my problem." Sophia said each word like a slap. "You're useless anyway. Old, slow, ugly. This mansion doesn't need you. Mr. Cole doesn't need you. Nobody needs you." Those words hit Clara harder than any fist could. "Please," Clara whispered. "Please don't do this. Get out before I call the police and tell them you're stealing." Clara's heart broke into a million pieces. She walked to the front door on shaking legs. She opened it. Cold rain hit her face. The street was dark and empty. She stepped outside. The door slammed shut behind her. Clara stood on the street corner, just her and a towel and a broken heart. Cars drove by. Their lights made her feel even more naked, even more ashamed. A window opened across the street. Mrs. Chun, the neighbor, looked out. "Is that Clara? The maid? Oh my goodness, what is she wearing?" More windows opened. More neighbors looked out. "Call someone." "Is she okay? Why is she in a towel?" Their voices felt like bees stinging her all over. Clara wanted to disappear, to turn into dust and blow away. Then she heard another voice, one she knew. "Well, look who's making a scene." Sophia stood in the doorway, arms crossed. That means smile still on her face. "You should be ashamed of yourself," Sophia said loud enough for the neighbors to hear. "Coming outside like that. What kind of woman are you?" Clara couldn't speak, couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Up in his window, Adrian watched everything. He saw Clara shaking. He saw Sophia smiling. He saw the neighbors staring. He saw the woman who raised him, who loved him, who saved him, standing in the street wearing nothing but shame and a towel. And something inside him finally broke open. The ice around his heart cracked. Memories flooded in. A soft song. Gentle hands. "I'll never let anything bad happen to you." But he let bad things happen to her. He let this happen. His hand gripped the window frame, so hard his knuckles turned white. Enough. He turned and ran. Adrian ran down the stairs so fast he almost fell. His expensive shoes slapped against the marble floor. His heart pounded like a drum. His breath came out in gasps. He threw open the front door. Rain hit his face. Cold wind pushed against him. But he didn't care. There she was, Clara, standing in the street, shaking, crying, holding that small white towel like it was all she had left in the world. And it was all she had left. Adrian walked toward her. Each step felt heavy, like he was walking through mud. through shame, through all the years he pretended not to care. "Clara," he said. She looked up. Her brown eyes were red from crying. Rain mixed with tears on her wrinkled face. "Mr. Cole," she whispered. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make trouble. I'll go. No." His voice was strong, loud. "You're not going anywhere." He took off his jacket, his expensive, perfect jacket, and he wrapped it around her shoulders. Clara gasped, "Sir, you don't have to." "Yes, I do." He looked into her eyes, really looked at her for the first time in years. "I should have done this a long time ago." Behind them, Sophia's voice cut through the rain. "Adrian, what are you doing? Get back inside. You're getting wet for a maid." Adrian turned around, slowly. His eyes were different now. Hard, cold, but not the cold of ice. The cold of steel. "She's not just a maid," he said. "She's the woman who raised me. She's the woman who sat by my bed all night when I was sick and scared. She's the woman who loved me when nobody else did." Sophia's mouth opened. "You're done talking," Adrian said. His voice was quiet but scary. The kind of quiet that means business. "Pack your things. Get out of my house. Now." "You can't be serious." Sophia's face turned red. "You're choosing her over me?" Useless. "Say one more word about her," Adrian said, stepping closer to Sophia. "Say one more word, and I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of person you really are. Every company, every friend, every place you want to work. I'll make sure they all know." Sophia's face went from red to white. She knew he meant it. Adrian Cole was a powerful man. He could destroy her life with one phone call. "Fine," she hissed. "Keep your precious maid. I hope you're happy together." She stormed inside. 10 minutes later, she came out with 2 suitcases. She got into a taxi and disappeared into the rainy night. Nobody would miss her. Adrian turned back to Clara. She was still shaking, still crying. "Come inside," he said gently. "Please." I can't. My room is flooded. Everything is ruined." "You're not going back to that room," Adrian said. "Ever." He picked her up, actually picked her up like she weighed nothing, like she was precious, important. Clara gasped. "Sir, I can walk." "I know you can," he said, "but you've been walking alone for too long. Let me help you now." He carried her into the house, past the other workers who had come down to see what was happening, past the fancy furniture and expensive paintings, up the big staircase. He took her to a room on the 2nd floor, a beautiful room with soft carpet and big windows and a bed that looked like clouds. "This is a guest room," Clara said. "I can't." "It's your room now," Adrian said. He set her down gently on a chair. "Your real room, where you belong." He got her warm, dry clothes. He brought her hot tea with honey. He wrapped a soft blanket around her shoulders. Then he did something he hadn't done in 22 years. He got on his knees in front of her. This big, powerful, rich man. On his knees. "Clara," he said. His voice cracked. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Mr. Cole, please stand up." "No," he said. "Not until you hear this. Not until you understand." Tears filled his eyes. "When I was 7, you saved my life. Not just from fever, from loneliness, from feeling like nobody cared. You made me feel loved when I thought love didn't exist." Clara's hands covered her mouth. She was crying too. "Then I grew up," Adrian continued, "and I became the worst kind of person. I became cold, mean. I pretended you didn't matter. I let people hurt you. I let Sophia torture you. I ignored you when you asked for help." He grabbed her old, wrinkled hands. "I told myself it was because I was busy, because I was important, because that's what rich people do. But that's all lies." "Then why?" Clara whispered. "Why did you push me away?" "Because I was scared," Adrian said. The truth poured out of him like water from a broken dam. "I was scared that if I loved you, people would think I was weak. That if I showed you mattered to me, I wouldn't be strong. I thought being powerful meant not caring about anyone. He looked up at her face, the face that had smiled at him for 28 years, the face that had dried his tears, the face that loved him even when he didn't deserve it. But I was wrong, he said. So wrong. Real strength isn't about building walls around your heart. It's about loving people even when it's hard, even when other people don't understand, even when you're scared. Clara touched his face with her soft hand. Oh, my sweet boy, my sweet, sweet boy. I don't deserve your forgiveness, Adrian said. I know I don't, but I'm asking anyway. Please, please forgive me. Clara pulled him into a hug, a real hug, the kind she used to give him when he was little. There's nothing to forgive, she whispered. You came back. You found your way back to me. That's all that matters. They held each other and cried. Years of pain washed away in those tears. Years of walls crashed down. Outside, the rain stopped. The sun started to rise. The next morning, something amazing happened. Clara woke up in her new room. Soft sheets, warm blankets, sunlight coming through clean windows. For a second, she thought it was a dream. But then she heard a knock on the door. Come in, she said. Adrian came in carrying a tray. On it was breakfast, eggs, toast, fresh fruit, orange juice, and tea with honey. What were you doing? Clara asked. Taking care of you, Adrian said with a smile. A real smile, like you took care of me. From that day on, everything changed. Adrian fired the estate manager, who ignored Clara's requests. He hired a new one who treated everyone with respect. He fixed all the old, broken things in the mansion. New pipes, new heaters. Everything worked perfectly. He gave all the workers a raise. And respect. He learned their names, asked about their families, said thank you. But most importantly, he made sure everyone knew. Clara wasn't just a worker. She was family. He introduced her to his business partners. This is Clara James. She's the most important person in my life. He took her to fancy restaurants. Order anything you want. You deserve the best. He brought her to the doctor and made sure she was healthy. I should have done this years ago. The neighbors who watched Clara stand in the street, they saw the change. They saw Adrian walk with her in the garden. They saw him hold her arm when she climbed stairs. They saw him treat her like a queen. Mrs. Chun told Mrs. Rodriguez. Mrs. Rodriguez told Mr. Kim. Mr. Kim told everyone. Did you see? Mr. Cole really loved that woman. She must be very special. I heard she raised him when he was young. That's true love, real love. The whispers changed from cruel to kind. One quiet morning, 3 months later, Clara and Adrian sat on the big porch. The sun was warm. The birds were singing. The garden smelled like roses. They drank tea together, just the two of them. Are you happy? Adrian asked. Clara smiled. More than I've been in a very long time. Good, he said, because I have something to tell you. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a paper. I changed my will. When I die, everything goes to you. The house, the money, everything. Adrian, no. Clara said, that's too much. It's not enough, he said. It will never be enough to make up for what I put you through. But it's a start. He took her hand. You gave me everything when I had nothing. You gave me love when I felt alone. You gave me a mother when mine didn't want to be one. Now I want to give you something, he continued. Security, comfort, respect, and most importantly, family. Tears rolled down Clara's cheeks. You already gave me the greatest gift. What's that? You came back, she said. My boy came back to me. They sat there as the sun rose higher. Two people who found their way back to each other, who learned that love is stronger than pride, that family is who stays with you, not who shares your blood. The mansion wasn't just a place of wealth anymore. It was a home, and in that home, an old woman with silver hair and a man who learned to care again found something more valuable than all the money in the world. They found each other. Did this story touch your heart? This tale reminds us that it's never too late to make things right. That real strength comes from admitting our mistakes. That the people who love us when we're small deserve our love when we're big. If Clara and Adrian's journey moved you, like this story to help others find, comment below. Tell us, have you ever had someone like Clara in your life? Someone who loved you when others didn't? Subscribe for more emotional stories about love, redemption, and second chances. Share this with someone who needs to remember. The people who helped you climb deserve to stand at the top with you.